Hello everyone, my name is Sean B. Martin. Welcome to a new episode of Minecraft Experiments. I am joined today by my first test subject, the co-creator of this series, I'll give you that, rsmalec himself.
Hey, why am I in this little pen? What's going on?
Just because you're a co-creator doesn't mean that I'm going to let you roam free. This is a science experiment. It has to have very tightly controlled circumstances.
Oh, all right. Well, what do you want? What do you need me to do?
Well, I was thinking, we talked a very long time ago about doing a world editing experiment where we could not move.
Oh, that was like 6 months ago or something.
Yeah, I think it was during that cuckoo clock build that made me pull all of my hair out. Thank you very much. Okay, so I think that I feel like I came up with this idea to stand still while we world edited our creations below us.
Yeah, it could be. It was definitely a crazy idea, no matter what.
And we very quickly decided that one point of operation would not really work. If you could only view it from one static perspective, there was you were going to be pretty limited in what you can do. So we had two blocks, both facing the creation from like an isometric perspective, and you could just jump back and forth between them.
Yeah, I actually didn't make use of that until I was really far into the build.
I noticed that.
Thankfully, we were using a new world edit wand, or at least I am, which allows us to make cylinders and spheres as opposed to just cubes.
Right.
Because this would definitely not have. This would have been much harder before, and we should probably also give a little bit of credit to the person who recommended this build or the topic for this build via Twitter.
Yeah, we went to Twitter and asked for some suggestions for a theme, and Mr. Sapling was good enough to be like, "Hey, how about a cookie theme?" And we were like, "Yeah, that's a pretty good theme."
Yeah. So did you know what you were going to build as soon as he said cookie?
No. I think you knew what you were going to build a while before I had thought of something, because I was still like, well, what am I going to do with the cookie? I just make a cookie? I was just struggling for several minutes. Then I was like, okay, well, I could bake some, maybe I could do like a tray of cookie. Oh, I could put the tray of cookies in an oven. There we go.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool.
I wanted to find something that was boxy that I could kind of... I feel like it was a little bit easier to do something that was so boxy. When I saw the amount of detail that went into what you're making, which appears to be a pot of honey right now, but later turns into a cookie jar, I was impressed that you were able to do that from where you were standing.
Yeah, I thought of the pot of honey first, actually, Winnie the Pooh.
Right.
And I've seen cookie jars that are just plain. And then I thought of like a cookie jar shaped like a cow, which would have been insane.
That is funny, though, because the only cookie jar that I think my parents ever had, or my grandmother had, was a Winnie the Pooh cookie jar.
Ah, okay.
So that's a very strange coincidence.
Yeah, I took a risk with the lid. I knew I didn't want it to just be laying flat on the ground, but I couldn't. I had a lot of trouble with the lid and the angles, because I couldn't go over there and actually take a look.
And just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, my biggest problem you're actually seeing me deal with right now, I created the top of the stove without thinking about putting stuff on the top, and I made it almost the exact same height that I was standing on, and because of that, I couldn't reach the top of it from where I was standing.
Oh, and you couldn't see that the angle is very hard to see what's up there.
Yeah, and I couldn't use the wand to grab specific. So what I ended up doing, and I think I put it off for another, like this, we did this in about 40 minutes. We sped it up 4 times. So it's a little under 10 minutes. I think I waited another 20 minutes and then I did the stovetop out in front of me, just floating in the air. And then I moved it into place.
Yep.
Which was a strategy I never thought I would be doing with World Edit, because why in the world would you do that?
Well, it's funny that you mention it, because you see I'm building this basically on the ground, and then later you'll see that I move the whole thing after this detailing is done.
Right.
And I think it actually accidentally was a great strategy, and I think if I ever did this again, hopefully I won't, but if I ever did this again, I'm going to build the detailed stuff on the ground and then just move it up into the air until I place it all back later.
Right. I should have built mine in several different pieces. Now I am trying to put stuff inside the oven, and what I should have done is built either from the top down, putting things on the top on the ground and then moving them up as I worked, or start completely at the bottom and putting the top of the oven on later. And it's just like, why would you? I would just do it this way because normally I'm able to go right up to it.
Yep.
It's hard to wrap your head around.
Yeah, I would love to see if anyone watching this wants to try an experiment like this and create something without moving and send it as a video response. I think that would be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here's the part on mine that I'm least happy with, and it's the glass of milk.
I showed this to Alicia, and she was like, why is there a glass of milk or a glass of water?
It's because we only have one color liquid in Minecraft, but I guess now I can pretend it's Star Wars milk.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, it's blue milk.
So
I can buy that.
I don't remember when we did the fly around at the end that you had built a grate inside the oven.
Yes, I did, and I actually was pretty proud of that because it worked out just the way I wanted it to. So yeah, my cookie tray is sitting on top of a actual grate.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. See, I love when people put details in that you can't necessarily even see. And there's
the other thing that I did right at the end is I put a handle on the door that was on the bottom of the door, so I couldn't even see it. I just had to kind of remember how to get down there math-wise. I was like, now I'll move it down 2. I think that's in the right place. I can't see it, but I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the other thing that's nice, too, is with the World Edit GUI plugin that shows us the outline of what we're about to screw up, place. Yeah, here's the first time that I actually jumped platforms, and it was basically, I had an error block on the back of that lid.
Right.
I couldn't see it from either side, so I ended up not being able to fix it exactly how I wanted, but I knew it was there.
Right.
Just couldn't get to it.
Yeah, I accidentally, the back of my oven, or the inside of it is all black, and once you can see the back of my oven, you can see that there's a big black rectangle. I didn't try and put it through the back of the oven, but I couldn't see it, and I didn't know how far it went, so it just kind of happened.
Oh, I see.
That was a mistake.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's funny when you're doing something like this, you kind of have this list in your head of things that are mistakes that you have to fix versus might want to fix if you have time.
You prioritize your accidents.
Yeah, and I think the longer you build, it actually gets harder because there's more things that you want to go back and do.
And there are more things that you could accidentally interfere with.
Yeah, I see you using a far brush.
You and I are both using brushes at the same time.
Oh, okay.
You were painting your cookie.
I actually I felt like I was cheating at this point because I had to jump in order to get the angle on the cookie.
Right.
But I think we imposed enough issues on ourselves.
Yeah. There were a couple times that we also accidentally jumped to other things. I accidentally jumped underground at one point and started suffocating.
Yeah, I was looking at my wand or my cookie jar lid, and I think I hit the compass button and warped to it, and I was like, no, no, no.
Yeah, that is really interesting that you decided to compile all 3 of these elements before you decided to put them on top of a table. Did you know that you were going to put them on a table?
No, I don't think so. Because
when I tore down the wall, the first thing I saw was a giant table, and I was like, oh, it's like a kitchen table.
Yeah. Well, at some point I realized, probably when I was building the grass, that I wanted to replace, when I was building the glass, I wanted to replace the grass.
Yeah.
And then once I did it, I was like, oh, I could probably just move it all up and do it so he doesn't see it happening underneath the wall.
Gotcha.
So.
And I remember this point when you moved the tabletop up and you were like, it's interfering with where I'm standing.
Yeah, I don't know if that would have disqualified me or not, but I think I built the platform too far over the building area.
Right.
So yeah, there's your stovetop.
Yeah, I'm moving it into place now. Very precise mathematical calculations.
Actually, that was a really nice way to do it, though.
It was also, when I moved it into place, it was off by 1 block, and I decided that I liked it better that way, so I just left it there, which again is a mistake that never would have happened normally.
Yeah, the lip
Yep.
that it creates is cool.
That was just a mistake because I was off by 1.
Yeah. Well, I think your build turned out awesome, and I probably wouldn't have thought of a stove.
Well, I didn't think of a cookie jar. I never would have thought a cookie jar was possible from the conditions that we had in place. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, good, fun time overall.
Well, I'm not sure who won that build-off, but it certainly was a challenge.
Yep, it was good. Tell us a little more about it.
Well, I think we had a lot of fun. We learned a lot, and hey, wait, where in the world are you going?
I'm free!
Thank you for watching another episode of Minecraft Experiments, and a great thanks to my buddy rsmalec.
Oh, it was fun. My pleasure.
Make sure you check out Ron's channel. He does some very interesting experiments of his own, as well as a bunch of map Let's Plays where he reviews them all. How many maps have you reviewed now, Ron?
It's a little over 300, but
who's counting?
Still going strong.